Are we on? Mic check, mic check. Testing. Are we on? Okay. Hello and welcome to Fawn TV, Free World Therapy, where we're going to try to educate the world about the suffering of humanity and this thing that we all experience together all over the world, doesn't matter where, because it's the internal struggle that sets the precedent for external relationships with self and others. I'm supposed to be going live right now, but I think I'm going to record it. And then if anybody comes on live, I'm going to pause my recording, pull them on live. So if you guys want to do that, I'm going to take people on Free World Therapy. I think I'm going to take calls on that one so that you'll be anonymous. I'll know who you are, but you'll be anonymous in that if you want to. So think about all the online repercussions, people knowing your voice, all that stuff. Things we're going to talk about today is cheating. Why do people cheat? That one never gets old. Psychedelic assisted therapy. What do you do if you don't have access to therapy? I'm still reading comments before I don't read comments ever again, so get it in. The fact that both feelings can exist. Let me take some notes for myself. Psychedelic. So I like to call this a church of mental health because I'm being dramatic, and church sounds dramatic, and I'm not a churchy person, but I've become a spiritual person in my 30s, which I'm no longer in. And so I want to just kind of try to give some of my knowledge. I don't think I want to leave these videos up recorded because I'm old school and I want to give it the feel of radio. And I know you kids can't handle that. Adults probably don't care. Older adults aren't going to be on here. So I'm going to leave it up for a couple of days. We're going to see how it goes. I want to give you guys something live every time. I don't want you to hang on every word. This texting life that we have, that I've experienced with my friends, that I see with my students, like people psychotically read each other's texts over and over and over. I'm like, dude, that was meant to be heard and done. Like, listen to it, take it in, and get over it. Like, I don't want to be on record forever. That's why when I did yesterday, I was wearing a hat because I got there and I was like, I'm not ready for this. And I put a hat on. So yeah, I think what I want to do is give you guys an opportunity to be live, like the radio. You call in, you're going to be anonymous, you're going to hear your voice. So you have to be worried about if that's going to be a problem. But it's going to be like the radio. You're going to see me, you're going to hear them, and hopefully we can talk about some things. Again, this is not an emergency service, so please don't call and be in an emergency state. I can't help you with that. You're anywhere in the world. So for that, always you need to, this is not for that. There are services for that. Hopefully I can have people send me the links from all over the world where they are, and I can provide those for you guys, but don't use this for that. Second chance to hit people like seeing level 20. Why they stood in these planet and look pain. What are you gonna do? You say, oh wow, I like that. It ended with you're listening to the knowledge of a scholar. I don't consider myself a scholar in the way that people do. I'm a people scholar. So I guess it's a type of scholar. This is my dog, Trigger. This is something I got in Venice Beach. This is You're Fucking Dope stickers. You can get online from my friend. I'm not promoting shit, but it says You're Fucking Dope, which is cool. I got this in Iran. I got this in Cuba. I got this in Iran. I got this in Croatia, which is my favorite country to visit, but don't tell anyone. I got this here, but it's a Thai land. It's from Thailand. It was made in Thailand. I have my little Buddha here, so I need to practice more of that, as we all do. I'm going to pause now. I'm going to take a quick little break. And okay, so point being, I want this to not be recorded forever. I want you to just get what you need to get out of it. Take your notes. Ask me something next week. You know, I want to try to go live, give you guys access, and see how it goes. Pause. Okay, before I pause, I just want to talk about this cheating notion real quick because it's a topic that never gets old because people are never going to stop. Not that the same person isn't ever going to stop, but in general, as we get waves of people coming in into development, into having relationships, there's always going to be waves of people that are going to cheat. So I'm having some clients and friends always going through this at some point or another. And so why do we cheat? I mean, I'm not going to get into the depths of it because there's a lot of good information out there. But I want to give the highlights for people to just kind of get you thinking. People don't cheat because they're missing sex. You know, sometimes they act out that way, but it's not a sex thing. Why do people often cheat at work? There's different layers of it. There's different layers of cheating. Did I take notes on that? Yes, I did. But where is it? Ah, yes, cheating levels. That was my note. Okay, good note. Cheating levels. So what I mean by that is that there's people that are always going to cheat. They're going to get in relationships and cheat. They're going to get in marriages and cheat. There's people that are not ever going to cheat unless they're really pushed to something or they're dealing with an absentee partner who is addicted, depressed, sad, unavailable, angry, overbearing, over-controlling, like where they take up a lot of space. And then this person is probably used to getting that in childhood, whatever. Not getting into that. But so one person usually takes a lot of space in a relationship and another one, it's a lot of control, dominant, submission kind of thing. Not in a sexual way. Don't get excited. We'll save that for Patreon. Just kidding. Somebody made a comment on the Yes Theory video that they would pay for that. I was like, oh, so kind. I'll give it to you for free though. So different levels of cheating. People, some people are always cheaters. Those are usually kind of the eye fuckers that we see when you go places. People are like locking eyes and they're trying to get it in because that's just kind of the way they get their fix is like they get excitement, they get validation, they hook up, blah, blah. Oh, I have another painting I wanted to put here. Squirrel. You'll get familiar with my ADD. Different levels of cheating. So some people are going to get pushed to the limit and then finally cheat. Some people are never going to cheat. They're just going to take shit and then maybe turn around and stab your ass one day. And then it's a spectrum. So what I try to do with my clients often is I try to give them a spectrum of, you know, what all the possibilities are. In sessions, oftentimes when they talk to me about things, I often say, I often always mentalize, which is not always good. Sometimes it can come across as a little bit dismissive, but I think it's needed more than not these days because people are super sensitive, and I always like to help them mentalize. And, you know, of course, when there's reasons for their sensitivities, we want to heal those. But there's a certain point where people are just taking it and running with it. And so I'm not about that life. So cheating levels, psychedelic assisted therapy, la 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 la. What else? If you have any questions on those, I'm going to upload this. I'm going to take a little break and act like I have 1 million followers when it's like 2 people. And then let me say a little bit about psychedelic assisted therapies. Medication is often helpful when people are in a high level of psychoses, neuroses, anything that is uncontrollable. They're just crying. They can't handle it. So then they need medication because they could be suicidal. They could be just so dysregulated where they're not able to function, and they just have a lot of functional impairments in their family, in their social, in their personal, in their mind. As I was talking to you guys about the war in your head, the war in the environment. So medications are necessary, but what's also necessary is that when they're not always necessary. There's a lot of hard work you can do if you don't want to take medication. Sometimes they are fully necessary, but I would say out of, I don't know what the percentage is. I make up percentages a lot, but in my own experience, I see that you can do it without sometimes, but it's a lot of hard work, and we don't want to do that. We just want to feel okay, which makes sense, right? You don't want to, after a whole lot of struggling, you don't want to keep struggling. But there are things you can do if you don't want to take that before you take that. There's a lot of hard, but good for you, healthful habit behaviors. Anywho, we can talk about that later, what those are, what I do for me. So for psychedelic assisted therapies, you take your medication, you stabilize, and then you're like, good, I finally found the thing. And then for some people, sometimes it wears off. For some people, it works forever. It's great. For some people, they have to switch because they build a tolerance, and then they become resistant sometimes because we keep trying to fix the things that are not getting healed with different pills. So sometimes very necessary. Sometimes it can be done without. And my notes. So when it can be done without, you have to really change your lifestyle, do all these things, and try to have good posture, and try to have healthful habits, whatever. And then as you stabilize on the medication, then you need to really do the trauma work, right? And the trauma work is not beaten, rape, abuse. It's these covert things that keep us stuck in these relationships, that keep us going back to shitty situations, that keep us putting up with our bosses abusing us. Like it doesn't have to be in relationships. It can happen with our parents. It can happen with our friends. It can happen with, whoever. I'm going to try not to cuss. So I'm gathering my thoughts because I get excited. So to notice those, to heal those is when you stabilize, because we all have reasons why. There's always a reason why we are bipolar, borderline, ADHD, majorly depressed, OCD, OCPD, blah, 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 all the things that are in this DSM-5. For me, I feel like if I could, I would give everybody PTSD. Working at these organizations, I'm forced to pick. So I give everyone depression and anxiety because sure, I could break it down and be like, this one has borderline and this one has bipolar. And I do, when obviously we have to document as that. But to me, it's always when you break it down, which these assessments never take the time to really break down people's, we're getting a lot better at that now, but to really get down to the experiences and the things, we don't account for that. And when we do, and people read and start to really educate themselves, they can heal, and they do. It's just, again, a lot of work of things you didn't want to think about, the ways you've learned to deny realities, the ways you've learned to be in addictive behaviors. And we've all touched on some of them. You might not be an addict, or you might not be an angry person, or you might be a violent person, but you might have broken at some times. So when you get stabilized on your medication, start your trauma work, because now you're stable. Hopefully you have a support system. You can, then do it the right way, and then slowly wean off the medication, and then go on about your life as you learn to reconnect with yourself and others in a healthy way, not in this constantly neglecting your needs, as I'm thirsty, ways. Okay, I would like to be sponsored by Kirkland. Favorite. So yeah, when you get stabilized, don't think, oh, I'm healed now. Go do the effing work, and really understand why you are a certain repetitive way, why people may be complaining about you all the time, or why you might be complaining about other people all the time, or why you might be complaining about yourself all the time, whatever, right? Figure your shit out. And then you're going to feel better. You're going to present better. You're going to attract better. You're going to perceive better. Why am I ranting? Because that's what I do. That's why I call it the church, because they get up there and then they get like, oh, I just hit my head. Okay, breakups, people pleasers, blah, blah, blah. So many things to talk about. I don't have time for this right now. I'm going to upload this right now because I feel like I babbled for a long time right now.